It started in the streets, on corners, in basements, on borrowed mics with broken beats. A voice for the unheard, a rhythm for the restless. It's global, louder than ever, streaming across continents, chart-topping, genre-bending, culture-defining. These are the new voices, the digital poets of a generation raised on hustle, hashtags, and heartbreak. They're not waiting for a seat at the table. They're building their own. This is more than music. This is a movement. This is hip-hop.
I fear that I'm at a standstill because I don't see my projects moving in the way or the speed that I want them to. But then I had to think about that and I was like, that's not true.
Before the stages, before the headlines, before TDE, there was Tampa. And there was a girl named Jayla Hickman. But the world would come to know her as Doechii. She didn't just step into the industry. She tore the door off its hinges. This is not just the story of a rising star. It's the story of a visionary, a disruptor, a girl who became an icon. In the heart of Florida, where the swamps meet the city lights, a star was born. Doechii emerged from the vibrant streets of Tampa, Florida, which we see is heavily influenced by her aesthetic, to redefine the sound and spirit of modern hip-hop. She is always striving to be the best, which you can see from this interview from Apple Music.
Aside from, you see this hat, you see this jacket, I'm a nice presenting woman. I'm hungry. I want to be the best. If I have 2 days, if I have 24 hours, I'm going to work my hardest to make the best performance because I want to be the best, period.
Born on August 14th, 1998, Doechii was raised by her mother and her father, who was a rapper. From a young age, she was immersed in the world of music and performance. Her mother, a steadfast supporter, encouraged her creativity, while her father introduced her to the rhythms of rap. Even when she was young, Doechii had such a huge passion to perform her musical gifts. Her mother was her driving force and made sure that the church was a cornerstone of her upbringing. Doechii describes her household as heavily religious and attended church 6 days a week, participating in activities like singing gospel music and performing in a Christian marching band. This is what fostered her love for performing and music. She also got inspired by artists like Tyler, the Creator, Nicki Minaj, and Lil Wayne. These artists encouraged her to try out different voices in her music, which gave her the realization that you can be animated and can incorporate a theater in rap. Jamaican singer Grace Jones also inspired a lot of Doechii's style, and Doechii has stated that Grace Jones is her idol. She was deeply loved by her family and close friends, but the world beyond her home was far less kind. At school, she often felt the need to mask her true self, impersonating someone she wasn't, just to blend in with students of other races. The pressure to conform left her struggling with a fractured sense of identity. She later reflected on how, growing up, she constantly code-switched, adjusting her speech, mannerisms, and behavior depending on who she was around. Despite these efforts, she faced relentless bullying in predominantly white spaces, but her experiences weren't easier elsewhere. Even when she visited her black friends, she found herself targeted and ridiculed. As a dark-skinned, expressive young girl, she bore not only the typical struggles of adolescence, but also the harsh and complex realities of racism and colorism. She lived in between worlds, yet felt fully accepted in none. Tired of the ridicule and bullying, she finally stood up for herself, refusing to let others' cruelty define who she was. To embody her newfound strength, she created the name Doechii, a persona she invented in 6th grade to protect her true self. As Jayla transformed into Doechii, she began pouring her energy into music and performance. She started her first rap group in middle school, wrote songs for talent shows, and steadily built a passion that would shape her future. Doechii attended Howard W. Blake High School, where she honed her artistic skills. At that school, she formed lasting friendships, many of whom she still collaborates with today. It was also where she was introduced to jazz, music composition, and the fundamentals of reading and creating music. She began writing her own songs, developing a deep understanding of sound and storytelling. This experience became the foundation of the music she creates today. She immersed herself in ballet, tap dancing, acting, cheerleading, and gymnastics. These experiences not only shaped her as a performer, but also instilled in her a deep appreciation for the arts. All of these experiences culminated in the release of her first breakout track on SoundCloud, a song titled Girls, in 2016. And then 5 years later, she released the music video to it, marking the beginning of her journey as a serious artist. Before the stages, record deals, and viral TikToks, Doechii was building a universe of her own, one video at a time. Her YouTube era was more than just a starting point. It was the foundation of a carefully crafted identity. In raw uploads and DIY visuals, she was developing not just as a rapper, but as a multi-dimensional artist. She began uploading videos that showcased her creative versatility. This wasn't just a rap channel. It was a digital diary, performance space, and vision board all in one. In a world oversaturated with polished content, her vulnerability stood out. She took a leap of faith and moved to New York with no money, no safety net, and no plan to return home. Every day demanded improvisation, sometimes just to survive. After performing at a show, she even spent the night inside a McDonald's with nowhere else to go. With barely enough to get by, she couch surfed, seizing every opportunity to showcase her talent and keep her dream alive. Along the way, she found a small but supportive community who welcomed her in and gave her space to focus on her craft. Returning home was never an option for Doechii. To her, going back meant giving up on her progress, her passion, her purpose. Her mother knew she was in New York, but Doechii kept the struggle to herself, not wanting to cause worry. She was determined to prove that she could make it, that everything would eventually work out. She released her debut mixtape, COVID Music Session Volume 1 in 2019, showcasing her eclectic style blending hip-hop, R&B, and experimental sounds, which also was uploaded to YouTube and SoundCloud. It fused poetry, rap, spirituality, and soul in a way that felt experimental yet grounded. But Doechii's journey was not without some struggle and doubt.
I fear that I'm at a standstill because I don't see my projects moving in the way or the speed that I want them to. But then I had to think about that and I was like, that's not true. I feel inadequate because I don't feel like my projects are moving fast enough for my audience.
Before fame, she was living in survival mode, independent and betting on herself. She worked small jobs, moved around, and poured what little money she had into music videos, cover art, and equipment. She produced entire projects by herself. Friends and creatives in the Tampa scene helped her build visuals and record, forming a tight-knit circle of collaborators with nothing but talent and ambition. But industry support was hard to come by. For a long time, no one knew how to market her. She was too alternative for rap, too bold for pop, and too honest for comfort. Rejections piled up, offers that asked her to tone it down, change her look, or compromise her sound. Everything she's become, the voice, the visuals, the fury, the softness, it all came through the fire of rejection, pain, and radical self-belief. Her struggle wasn't just about making it. It was about staying whole in a world that wanted to break her down. A turning point in Doechii's creative journey came when she discovered The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. She was walking down the street on a normal day and stumbled upon piles of books, and she has said that she was drawn to this book even though the cover did not seem appealing at all. The book, a guide to unlocking creative potential through introspection and discipline, became a spiritual and artistic blueprint for her. For 12 weeks, Doechii committed herself fully to The Artist's Way, using its structure as a personal reset. a way to rebuild her relationship with creativity from the inside out. Each week brought a new theme, recovering a sense of safety, identity, power, integrity. At first, it was uncomfortable. The morning pages, a daily exercise of writing 3 unfiltered pages, forced her to confront her fears, frustrations, and insecurities head-on. But over time, those pages became her safe space, a mirror that reflected not just her pain, but her potential. She made space each week for artist dates, solo adventures that reconnected her with joy and curiosity. Whether it was going to a thrift shop, walking through a park, or listening to a forgotten jazz record, these small moments helped her rediscover inspiration in everyday life. Through the book's exercises, she began to untangle old narratives about worth, failure, and fear, replacing them with a deeper trust in her voice and vision. By the end of the 12 weeks, Doechii wasn't just writing songs. She was channeling truth. The discipline of the book, paired with her raw talent and relentless drive, sharpened her focus and cleared away mental blocks that had once held her back. The artist's way didn't give her the dream, but it gave her the clarity and courage to chase it with everything she had. That inner work became the backbone of the artistry and confidence the world sees in her today. The process not only sharpened her artistry, but also fortified her resilience, helping her transform personal struggle into powerful, authentic expression. The artist's way didn't just guide her creatively, it helped her believe in her own voice, a belief that would ultimately drive her rise as one of music's most compelling new artists. Doechii was finally able to see significant progress in her music career with her track Yucky Blucky Fruitcake.
Why don't you introduce yourself to the class? Okay? Hi, my name's Doechii with 2 eyes. I feel anxious when...
It became a viral sensation in 2021, propelling her into the spotlight and marking a pivotal moment in her career. Released in 2020 as part of her EP, Oh the Places You'll Go, the song gained significant traction on TikTok, where users employed it to soundtrack dramatic transformations, such as gender transitions, weight loss journeys, and makeovers. This viral trend helped the track amass over 50 million streams on Spotify. The song's title, Yucky Blucky Fruitcake, is inspired by a character from the 1992 children's book series Junie B. Jones, reflecting Doechii's embrace of her unique identity and experiences. Lyrically, the track delves into themes of self-discovery and overcoming adolescent challenges, resonating deeply with listeners. Rumors began to spread about a recording contract with the label, to which Doechii said she could neither confirm nor deny them. She confirmed the speculation in March 2022. The success of Yucky Blucky Fruitcake led to Doechii signing with Top Dog Entertainment, TDE, the label known for artists like Kendrick Lamar and SZA. This milestone marked the beginning of her ascent in the music industry. The announcement was accompanied by her major label debut single, titled Persuasive. A remix featuring SZA was later released, which gained even more attraction than the original track. In summary, Yucky Blucky Fruitcake was more than just a viral hit. It was a testament to Doechii's authenticity and ability to connect with audiences, setting the stage for her continued success in the music industry. After signing with Top Dog Entertainment, Doechii's rise to fame was nothing short of meteoric. Her name was buzzing, her shows were packed, and her presence in the industry was undeniable. She found herself swept up in the whirlwind of success. Late nights, constant parties, endless temptations, and a steady flow of alcohol. She was fully immersed in the rock star lifestyle, living fast and unapologetically. But behind the glitz and the chaos, something began to shift. Doechii started to feel a growing disconnect from herself. The girl staring back at her in the mirror felt like a stranger, someone she didn't recognize, someone she didn't want to be. The energy that once fueled her now felt empty. She realized she was still living as her younger, past self, a version shaped by survival, rebellion, and raw ambition. But that identity no longer aligned with the woman she was striving to become. She made a bold decision. She stepped back from the noise in the spotlight, choosing to isolate herself and embrace sobriety.
But I think that this serves me, and my new crutch is just my music and sobriety. It feels better to be sober right now.
Gotcha.
In the stillness, she began the difficult but necessary journey of rediscovery. It was time to redefine herself on her own terms, to unlearn the habits that no longer served her, and to reconnect with her true essence. In choosing healing over hype, Doechii began the process of becoming someone she could be proud of, someone real, grounded, and whole. Doechii's mixtape Alligator Bites Never Heal, released on August 30th, 2024, marked a pivotal moment in her career, showcasing her evolution as an artist and solidifying her place in contemporary hip-hop. The project seamlessly blends 90s-inspired boom bap with modern rap elements, reflecting her commitment to restoring the traditional roots of hip-hop while pushing the genre forward. The mixtape was crafted in 2024 under the guidance of Top Dog Entertainment, TDE, and Capitol Records. Doechii collaborated with a diverse array of producers, including Banser, Camper, Childish Major, Carl Banks, and Monty Booker, among others. Her artistic vision, described as editorial rap, merges elements of house music with traditional rap, creating a genre-defying sound that reflects her bold experimentation and desire to redefine hip-hop's boundaries. The title, Alligator Bites Never Heal, pays homage to her Florida roots, where the alligator is the state reptile. The album cover, featuring Doechii holding an albino alligator, draws inspiration from Minnie Riperton's 1975 album, Adventures in Paradise, symbolizing her connection to her heritage and the project's deep personal significance. Upon release, the mixtape garnered widespread acclaim, with standout tracks like Nissan Altima, Boom Bap, and Denial is a River, resonating with audiences. Denial is a River gained particular attention, becoming a viral sensation on TikTok and contributing to the mixtape's commercial success. Doechii challenges conventional notions of authenticity in rap. She embraces flamboyant fashion, face tape aesthetics, queer identity, and mental health discourse, most vividly in her confessional lyrics. She has said that hip-hop should be seen as intellectual, not merely adversarial, especially when crafted by women who came before her like Lil' Kim, Missy Elliott, and Mary J. Blige. Her unapologetic self-representation aligns messaging, sound, and identity into a holistic statement. Alligator Bites Never Heal, both as a song and as the title statement of the mixtape, is more than a metaphor. It's a thesis that wounds, personal and systemic, don't simply disappear, but can be transformed into defining artistic force. Doechii's bold lyricism and sonic breadth affirm that hip-hop embraces vulnerability just as powerfully as it celebrates swagger. By weaving her trauma, humor, Floridian heritage, queer identity, and industry critique into her music, Doechii sets a precedent. Hip-hop can be theatrical yet grounded, introspective yet provocative. In doing so, she not only influences aspiring artists, but also challenges the genre itself to adapt and evolve. The project's impact was further solidified at the 67th Annual Grammy Awards, where Alligator Bites Never Heal won Best Rap Album, making Doechii the third woman ever to receive this honor. In her emotional acceptance speech, Doechii expressed gratitude to her mother, her label TDE, her engineer Jada, and her fans. She also highlighted her Tampa, Florida roots, referring to herself as the Swamp Princess and emphasizing the rich culture of her hometown. Her words resonated deeply with many, especially Black women, as she encouraged them to embrace their authentic selves and defy societal stereotypes. The night was further electrified by her dynamic performance, blending tracks Catfish and Denial is a River. Accompanied by her longtime collaborator, DJ Miss Milan, Doechii delivered a visually striking set, complete with synchronized choreography and bold fashion choices, earning praise as one of the evening's standout performances. Following her Grammy success, Doechii embarked on her first ever headlining tour, aptly named the Alligator Bites Never Heal Tour. This tour was a significant milestone, allowing her to connect with fans worldwide and showcase her growth as a live performer. The tour featured a meticulously curated setlist highlighting tracks from her Grammy-winning mixtape. Fans were treated to live renditions of hits like Nissan Altima and Boom Bap, as well as deeper cuts that showcased her versatility and depth as an artist. Each performance was a testament to her dedication and passion for her craft. Beyond the music, the tour was an immersive experience, with Doechii's unique fashion sense and compelling stage presence leaving a lasting impression on audiences. Doechii's success marks a powerful shift in the landscape of hip-hop, where individuality, versatility, and fearless self-expression are increasingly celebrated. Rising from viral fame to becoming a standout artist signed to Top Dog Entertainment, she has demonstrated not only lyrical prowess but also a bold artistic vision that sets her apart. Doechii's trajectory points to a future where her voice will only become more prominent, shaping culture and inspiring the next generation of creatives.